Medical physicists in the 21st century face many challenges as a result of new three-dimensional diagnostic imaging and radiotherapy technologies. One of these challenges is in verifying treatment plans with actual dose measurements for conformal therapy, whether it is with external beam IMRT or brachytherapy. Measurements of doses in organs at risk is becoming just as important as verifying the tumor dose. Thomson-Nielsen's patented isotropic MOSFET dosimeters provide for fast readout of the dose. Their main advantage is their small size. This makes them very useful for measurements in high-dose gradient regions typical in IMRT or brachytherapy. It also allows them to be easily inserted in body cavities without too much discomfort to the patient. Hundreds of cancer centers worldwide are using Thomson-Nielsen's isotropic MOSFETs, and there are over 70 papers describing a wide range of applications in radiotherapy and radiology. This video presentation is designed to help you learn more about this exciting and practical technology. The MOSFET dosimeter's unique features are as follows. Small, flexible, and can be placed on the patient's surface or in body cavities. Isotropic. The MOSFET response is uniform through 360 degrees. One dosimeter calibration factor for all photon and electron modalities. Dose rate and temperature independent. Active region of 0.2 by 0.2 millimeters. Multiple dosimeter capability with one reader. Thomson-Nielsen is continually developing MOSFET technology to meet your needs. For example, we also manufacture the micro MOSFET, which, as you can see, is much smaller than the standard MOSFET and can go where no other dosimeter has gone before. It has the same general characteristics as the standard MOSFET. It is so small that it can fit inside a brachytherapy needle. Another example of a new development in MOSFET technology is the linear array. It has 5 micro MOSFET chips, 2 centimeters apart, on a single flex and measures dose profiles. There are 2 types of dosimetry systems available from Thomson-Nielsen: the MOSFET 20 system and the AutoSense system. Each system comprises a number of MOSFET dosimeters, electronic instrumentation, and dose reporting software. The choice of system depends on the application. We will now give a short demonstration of each system. The MOSFET 20. Using this system is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Initialize the dosimeters by pressing the Start button. Step 2. Disconnect the bias supply from the reader and irradiate the patient. Step 3. Reconnect the bias supply to the reader and press the read buttons to measure the dose. One reader will recognize up to 4 bias supplies. Therefore, one reader can measure up to 20 dosimeters. There is only one connection on the back of the reader, so should you wish to read more than 5 dosimeters and do it online, the AutoSense is the better option. The AutoSense system is configured as follows. The MOSFET dosimeters are placed on the patient. The dosimeters are connected to the bias supply, which in turn is connected to the reader. The reader is connected to the PC via an optional wireless transceiver or an RS-232 cable. All activities are performed remotely via the PC software. The AutoSense was designed to meet the needs of people who are using MOSFETs for applications such as IMRT QA and brachytherapy, but found they required something that was online and would save physics QA time. We will now demonstrate the features and functions of the AutoSense dosimetry system. The AutoSense PC software has 4 steps. The first step is to set up the instrumentation and verify your calibration factors and your dosimeters. The second step allows you to input patient and treatment data. It requires you to select the dosimeters that you plan to use. You can select up to 20 dosimeters, A1 through D5. Type in the exact location of where the dosimeter should be placed and indicate the target dose for this location. Graphically assign the dosimeters to locations on the patient's body. Choose from a library of images or input your own patient photo for better accuracy. Now print off the information and place the MOSFETs on the patient in the appropriate location using 3M paper tape. If using a thermoplastic immobilization system, be sure to position the MOSFET flex under the neck of the mask so it is not pinched under the frame. For IMRT head and neck treatments, it is important to measure the parotid area. Insert the MOSFET in a closed-end catheter and thread it through the mask and inside the mouth in order to obtain actual dose to the parotid gland. Before irradiating the patient, you must initialize the dosimeters by clicking on the virtual Start button in the software. Irradiate the patient and then measure the dose by clicking on the virtual Read button. This will obtain instantaneous dose information for up to 20 dosimeters. Here you will see that the dose column is populated with data, and the percentage deviation from the target dose is also automatically calculated. The final step is to view your report, print it, and save it. As you can see, all information input in the previous steps is included in the report. The report can be printed and signed off for the patient's file, legal documentation, and CPT reimbursement if this applies. The report can be saved electronically and viewed at a later date. An additional history text file is also saved should you wish to include the raw data in another software program. In addition to the features just mentioned, the software has a calibration tool to step you through calibrating the MOSFETs. The data can be exported to Excel and to Nucleotron's Vizier Record and Verify program. MOSFETs are on the cutting edge of the latest advancements in radiotherapy. The only reason dose measurements are possible in these new procedures is due to the small size and isotropic nature of the Thomson-Nielsen MOSFET. For surface dose measurements such as scatter to the eye, the dosimeter is taped to the organ of interest. For Dmax measurements, buildup material is required. We offer special tissue-equivalent hemispherical buildup caps. MOSFETs are ideal for IMRT QA where the measured dose is checked against the treatment plan. Select a number of dosimeters to place in an array in a Phantom in order to obtain quantitative dose data. All Phantom manufacturers accommodate the MOSFET dosimeters. IMRT in vivo is now being explored by a number of physicists. These examples show actual methods of determining dose to the parotid gland during IMRT head and neck treatment. The standard MOSFET, as you can already see, is extremely small and is used for HDR rectal and gynecological dose measurements. The micro MOSFET and the linear array are both used to measure urethral and bladder wall dose during IMRT and brachytherapy prostate treatments.
At Thomson-Nielsen, we are continually developing our technology to meet customer needs. We not only go to conferences around the world, but we hold users group meetings in order to keep in touch with all the MOSFET users. As you've seen today, there are a number of technologies to be applied to QA physics. And in addition to developing from a standard MOSFET through a micro MOSFET and also a linear array, we've developed systems which will allow you to use these dosimeters online and on wireless. We hope that you will join the growing number of physicists who believe that this is the best technology to apply to the QA physics challenges of today.